Hello class, and today we are going to be moving into the Catacombs area, well, further into it, and we are also going to be exploring the Tomb of the Giants more. So as you can see, and I probably explained in the last video, our skull lantern, which lets us actually be able to see, does take up the shield slot, so you're going to want to switch back to that, although it does allow us to see enemies from a farther distance than they can detect us from. So that's pretty nice. Now it does deflect some damage, but not really much at all. Basically all it serves to do is drain your stamina whenever an attack hits you when the lamp is on. So you don't want to do that. So I'm going to go exploring a little bit more and show you guys a bit more of the area that I ran past in the previous video because I was running out of time. So first things first, let's head up here because there are a few items we need to grab. So through here and over this way. This probably isn't it, but no, it's not it. So over this way, it's always good to do a good sweep of every area. You never know when you might miss something. Although I will be showing you everything that I know about, there's always stuff that I don't. So anyway, up this way, and kill this guy. So there's an item over here that actually leads you down into another area. It's actually really nice. Go and pick it up. It's not just another soul item, but you can see the message down there. Somebody placed it there for us. It's very nice. It's gateway into a little secret alcove here, which contains a pretty useful item if you're looking to go grinding for anything. Just right in here is the covetous silver serpent ring. It's like the gold serpent ring, except that it actually gives us increased soul drop instead of items. So you're going to want to equip that if you're planning on leveling up or trying to grind up some items or anything like that. So yeah, another ring slot for grinders. There you go. So you can see the bone towers do sometimes drop white titanite chunks. If you're looking for a divine weapon, you can go ahead and grab some chunks here. So there should be a way out of this area if you can go over this way, or just back over to here, or well, actually you're just gonna have to jump off from here. And so yeah, so that drop off there is the only way to get into this area, and the only way to get out is to drop off again, as with most secrets in this game, basically just to keep you from accidentally finding the drop off point or something like that. Anyway, so you can go ahead and go up here, and I'm going to show you guys a few more things, although this is probably just where we were before. Anyway, just wanted to show you guys the covetous silver serpent ring. As you can see, it gives you more souls for each kill. So there you go. And yeah, so up here and through here. So this is all area we've already been to before, so I'm just backtracking a bit just to make sure I didn't miss anything in that really big run I did. So eventually I'm going to come back to the area I was at before, and we'll just get on back down to the bonfire and continue on from there. So down here and down this way. So here's a narrow little passageway. I think it's the way down. It should be because it's sloping that way. So you can see the bonfire down there. So let's go ahead and run down that way. So here's the area we were at before. So you might have seen that item to the left up just there. If you find a way to grab that, it's all yours, but it's probably just another soul item or anything like that. We have everything we need anyway. I have successfully beaten the final boss with this build in a later video, so don't need to worry about anything. Let's go ahead and just consume this while we have it. And as you can see, we have enough souls to level up somehow. Let's go and put another point in endurance. And as you can see, we haven't put away the witch set yet that we grabbed in one of the previous videos. Just thinking about putting it away, but then I realized you can just sell it later at Framped if you want to. So you can put it away if you want to. Other than that, it's just sell it at Framped for souls. Anyway, now that we're so there's a summon sign here. Looks like that person knows what they're doing, but we don't really need any help for Nito. At least we shouldn't. So anyway, let's go ahead and kindle the bonfire up a little bit more. And you may remember, as you can see, we're at 10 Estus. Now we can kindle again because of the rite of kindling, and now we're at 15. we can kindle one more time even and get to up to 20. But that's kind of overpowered, so... And besides, we don't need that much for the Nido boss fight anyway, even though you do need a slightly increased amount of Estus, because he has quite a few enemies that take away your health quite a bit. Anyway. So here's a neat little item hiding in an alcove. Another white titanite chunk. So, basically this area is for those wanting to get divine weapons. The Duke's Archives area later is for those wanting to get sorcery weapons. And the Lost Izalith area even later is for those wanting to get fire-based. And, yeah. So, you can see it doesn't really block much at all, though. It does block some. And stability is absolutely horrible, so it's not recommended for normal use as a shield, of course. It's mostly just a light source. So anyway. And you can see over there, there's another one. But they couldn't see us, so we could get a pretty good jump attack on them. And this thing has ridiculous range with its jump attack. Still not quite sure how we're able to lift that with one hand and then jump with it. But, well, I don't know. I guess our strength is 39, so yeah. Anyway, so you can go ahead and run down here. And back here's another neat little item. And it's more souls. Yippee. Always use a few more of those, right? Anyway. So you might remember I mentioned Leroy, Paladin Leroy, earlier. As you have probably imagined, as with most NPCs, he is an invading phantom, as well as a summonable person, although not all NPCs are both, and most NPCs are neither. But anyway, if you are human form down this way, this is the last area you can access before the Golden Gate in this little hallway right here closes you off if you haven't got the Lord Vessel yet. So you can fight Paladin Leroy right down here. See, that message is hinting to it. And not even Leroy can stand up to the double tap. Anyway, that was really easy. We got a few more humanities and souls, and let's so we got 2 more humanity and 1 grant and 1 sanctus. So those are pretty good weapons. That requires 18 faith, so we can't use it, but it does have a pretty nice HP regeneration ability, which is one of the only shields in the game one of the only things in the game that actually does that. Kind of surprising. And Grant is a 50 strength, 30 faith great hammer that's basically comes divine. That's pretty much all it has. So anyway, it's a super ultra great hammer if you want to use it, but it really requires a huge stat investment, so it's definitely not recommended unless you're doing a build around it. Like a Leroy build or something, I don't know. Anyway, down this way and through here is Nido's domain, I guess, although it doesn't actually say that. So you can get rid of a few bone towers here. So these guys are apparently Nido's bodyguard or something. Kind of interesting. So you may have heard me mention pinwheel cloning or something like that. Anyway, he's attempted to re-resurrect the 3 parts of him separately on many occasions. But unfortunately, most of those have failed and they've just resulted in more pinwheels. So we're going to be fighting a lot of those in one of the later bits. It's just in this area, so you'll be fighting quite a few pinwheels. This is the only place in the game where you can actually fight pinwheel again, so you can get more of the masks if you want to, although it does drop much less frequently than the actual pinwheel. So it's a nice opportunity if you want to get the Master of the Child, which is in my opinion one of the best, although the other masks are pretty good. So they basically have pinwheels and moveset, except they can't clone themselves because there's already plenty of them. They basically have 2 kinds of energy balls and a few dodged attacks and stuff like that. Now this area also is also filled with little baby skeletons that spawn in this lower pool-like area. You'll see a few shortly, but first I'm going to kill this pinwheel here. Just as weak as the boss himself, maybe even weaker. So no item. As you can see, there's a whole ton of baby skeletons. These guys spawn infinitely down here, are a great source of souls and humanity if you're willing to spend some time grinding. And you'd never have to go back to the bonfire when you're ready to rest either. So that's pretty nice. I don't think they can follow you up here. They might be able to, but they're really slow, so it doesn't really matter. So anyway, yeah, the baby skeletons, probably one of the best soul grinding areas in the game. Although the Phalanx is pretty good too. It's even closer to a bonfire. So anyway, one of those cutesy widow things followed us. And fairly easy to kill, 121 souls, but there's infinite numbers of them, so it'll go pretty fast. And yeah, so apparently there's a treasure down there, but I don't really want to spend any more time than I have to. So let's just go ahead and grab the soul of a hero from here. And actually, let's go ahead and grab that treasure down here because we've got some time to spare before we go fight Nito. It's only been like 10 minutes, 11, and we're just about to fight the boss. So there's a few more of the baby skeletons. They're so cute. Anyway, so we'll go ahead and head up here, and through here is Nito's boss fight room. So this is actually a really interesting boss fight. It's basically horde mode, where the boss can actually kill his minions. It's probably one of the cheapest shots ever. He gets fall damage on you, then he instantly launches a blade attack that does quite a bit of damage and instantly stuns you if you try to heal that fall damage with an Estus or anything like that. You'll see in a bit what I'm talking about, but anyway, you've already seen Nito, so you know what he looks like when we visited the Tomb of the Grave Lord. So now he's waking up because we've entered the correct way. Uh-oh, here comes trouble. And now he's got a creepy black cape thing too, along with his massive skeletons. So anyway, as you can see, we're low on health. If you try to heal, he does a blade attack on you, and does quite a bit of damage, and toxifies you. So anyway, there's stupid big skeletons, stupid big AoE effects. Which those all knock out his own skeletons, of course. That's pretty cool. He has a few pretty annoying attacks, but most of those just... See, as you can see, he just killed his entire most of his army of skeletons. So, yeah, and there's his big AoE attack. Just get away from him. He crouches down and his cape gets a little brighter. As you can see, he has pretty low health for one of the Lord Soul bosses. So that's pretty nice. As you can see, we're already halfway down on Estus, so... As you can see, did his AoE attack again. He's about half down. We still have half Estus, so we're doing pretty good. Now, if you can do this entire game without drinking one flask of Estus, you, sir, are a true pro. So, have fun trying that. Anyway, just once you kill him, all the skeletons are gone, so you don't need to worry about that. If you have a divine weapon, you can permakill these skeletons if you want to, but it's really not all that important. Anyway, all the skeletons collapse. You've just killed the Grave Lord, and you have another Lord Soul. Congratulations. Another humanity. A bonfire spawns right next to the tomb, and we get 60,000 souls. Yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and rest up here. Take a quick nap. Level up once in our vitality, and since 40 is the unofficial soft cap, basically meaning anything past 40 is a kind of wasted investment, we're going to go ahead and put a few points in attunement so we can start using some pyromancies. So we'll talk about those more in the next part of this video, I think, probably. Anyway, now that we're done here, let's go ahead and warp to the Daughter of Chaos bonfire so we can get a few things done before we head on to the next area. So there you go. And here we are at the Daughter of Chaos, the unofficial hub for pyromancers. So now we're actually going to level up in this covenant as well. So although we don't have the ring to understand what she's saying, if you want to, that's a secret for you guys to find. It's the old witch's ring. You can trade the Sunlight Maggot with Snuggly the Crow. If you guys, I'll talk to you guys about that later. Anyway, now that we don't have the Skull Lantern, we can have Havel's head back on, so that's way better. So let's go ahead and enter the Covenant. I would love to hear what she's saying anyway. So as you can see, we're the Path of the Dragon Covenant right now, which is really not all that necessary. So let's just go ahead and enter into the Firekeepers. The Servants of Chaos, something like that. I don't know. We're about to find out. Anyway, we get the Great Chaos Pyromancy, the Great Chaos Fireball Pyromancy. So we can talk to him. He sells us that. Basically, it's the only online function for this covenant. Basically, all it does is it just lets us see how much humanity other people have given this person with the offer humanity, which is also the rank up method. So this is going to be quite a while. I'm going to be consuming humanity for quite a bit, so I can talk about this covenant. Anyway, so you just offer humanity to her, which theoretically cures her which alleviates the pain of her having consumed all the blight pus, which was going to kill the people like Jeep or whatever, that guy there. So she basically saved their lives, and she is slowly dying horribly. So we can can alleviate the pain a bit by feeding her humanities. Unfortunately, with this far of the game going on, the servant roster is kind of broken, with like almost infinite numbers of people just feeding her 30 humanity, and those guys at the top who have maxed it out because they're cheaters. So don't even bother with the servant roster, even though it's only 500 souls. It's not really worth it. Anyway, now that we have our 30 humanities, it's quite a bit. You can definitely tell the effects. Our item discovery is maxed out at 210. Although we would need the covetous gold serpent ring to make it get any bigger. So anyway, now we're going to offer her all the humanities and go ahead and do that. So anyway, we're just going to go ahead and rank up like 30 times. So in case you're wondering why we're ranking up to level 2 in this covenant, that is when you get the second pyromancy, and also when you get and also when you unlock a shortcut later that allows you to save Solaire from going insane at the hands of this tiny little bug known as the Sunlight Maggot, which I'm sure you've heard me mention earlier. Basically, you take the shortcut, you kill the Sunlight Maggot, and Solaire can't get it first, think it's his own son, and go insane and go hollow because he's finished his life quest. So anyway, we are now a Chaos Servant +1, which gives us a few bonuses in the Covenant, like a more powerful Pyromancy, I think. Could be wrong, but I think that's it. Anyway, now we need 20 more humanity to level up to the next rank, so we'll be here for a while. So anyway, the final boss fight is made much easier with the presence of Solaire, who is a summonable phantom and the only one available for the final boss fight. There's a lot of story surrounding this, but really it's just a helpful phantom that can help you beat the final boss. So I personally found him to be awesome because all of the final boss's attacks were directed at Solaire and not at me, so I was happy and able to use all my pyromancies to cream him really, really bad. Anyway, so we're almost there, about halfway, so 9 more. So can you imagine doing this in real time? It would take forever. I would recommend breaking it up a bit. But anyway, the rest of this video is just me twiddling around and trying to get those pyromancies I've wanted for so long. So basically I just finished up the catacombs and did a little bit of evening out the videos by taking the last like 20 minutes of this and just getting some pyromancies with the Daughters of Chaos. With these Chaos Servants. Sorry, that's what they're called. Anyway, so now we've finally fully ranked up to +2. +3 is the maximum, but that needs like 80 humanities, and we can't get that much right now, at least. So anyway, we're now Chaos Servant +2. We have some more extra special bonuses. And, yeah, so unfortunately we don't have a Pyromancy Flame because we sold ours to Framped because I was being stupid at the moment. I really need that Pyromancy Flame. And as far as I knew at this time, you could only get one. So I'm actually going to pause the video for a moment here. Just in a moment. And, actually we're gonna head, not quite sure what I'm doing here. I think we're going to head to Firelink, talk to the Pyromancer there, and see if he can give us another one. But I'm not sure that'll be... but that's not possible. He only gives you one, and that's when you rescue him. So you can just ignore this bit. It's really not all that important. So he's really happy about your Great Chaos Fireball. If you tell him about it, he'll go down into the Great Swamp and go insane. So you can kill her if you... So you can go down and kill him if you want, but it's the last chance you have to buy any of his pyromancies. Since we don't really need any, though, we'll be done. We have the Great Chaos Fireball, which is a 4-use, pretty much... It's the best fireball in the game, pretty much, so we'll be using that. The Chaos Storm is an area of effect attack, which is quite nice, but easily dodgeable in PvP. And we're going to also get the Black Flame Pyromancy later in the DLC area, which is quite nice and allows us basically a melee pyromancy attack. It's quite effective. Not enough souls to level up or anything like that. I'm kind of getting flustered right now because I actually don't know how to get another pyromancy flame. So yeah, this is not that good. So actually, I think I'm gonna pause. So getting the old witch's ring actually causes a bit more dialogue with him because you can understand the fair lady's language. So, actually yes, I did a bit of researching in the spare time between warping or something like that, and I figured out that I actually need 12 intelligence in order for the guy to talk to me. So we're actually going to need to be leveling up a bit. And we're actually also going to be needing to get an egg head. I'll show you guys that, of course. So unfortunately that's an instant kill on him. And as you can see, the maggots there, they're quite hard to deal with, but they don't really do much damage. So I'm just letting them attack me, but as you can see it's not doing very well. I'm trying to get them to do the red mist attack and hit me, because that sometimes will infect me with the egghead attack. As you can see, that's not the most useful. So you'll see what I'm trying to explain later, but the best method is one that I'm not using here. So you can see, the most easy way to deal with these guys is to get at the proper range and just use your downward slam attack. It's the most effective way to hit them. So I'm not going to do that whole thing again, so I'm going to go find one of the aggressive ones later. Yeah, let's go ahead and head down here. So you need to have infected yourself with an egg in order to actually get the NG guy to talk to you properly. So there, I figured out you can just do a shield bash. So you need an egg head, and that is the attack that is most often used to get it. Unfortunately, I am not scratching my head every few seconds while I'm standing idle, so I don't quite have it yet. So I'm going to have to wait for him to attack me again. Just going to have to let this attack land a few times until you start scratching your head in the meantime. So I'll go ahead and sped up this bit of the video. So he's... Do your grab attack. Yeah, oh, there we go. Anyway, just need to... So we're just going to let it land a bit. Now I'm going to go heal a bit. And let him attack me. I'll show you what happens once you do actually... Oops, I had my humanity out there for a moment. Anyway, so once you finally do get... I'm thinking maybe if you take off your head armor, it'll make it go a little faster. Anyway, so basically, you just get yourself infected here, and then there's a bit of a waiting process. So, yeah, it'll all be fully explained once I actually do get infected. But basically, the goal is... Oh! Look, I scratched my head there for a moment. Did you see that? Anyway, that's what I was looking for. I am now infected with the egghead thing. And I can... and once it manifests itself, I can talk to the genie guy. Somebody tell me how to pronounce that. Anyway... So, now, once it manifests itself, I can go talk to him. There we go. Lucky us. Anyway, so we can go talk to him, and I researched that he will actually give us a pyromancy flame. So that's pretty nice. Yeah. So once we get that pyromancy flame, we can actually use those pyromancies. Anywho, but we're going to need an egghead and I think 12 intelligence. Right now we only have 11, so this might be another level that we have to do later. So I'm going to go ahead and do a sped up waiting sequence for a moment. So apparently just being infected doesn't work really. And you know, we just wait here for a bit. And scratchy head. And wait for it. Scratchy head again. And scratchy head again. There's a ghost of somebody standing there. Huh. So we're waiting for the same thing. Anyway, scratchy head again. Getting bored. Scratchy head again. You can actually do stuff while this is manifesting itself, but it doesn't really matter. Anyway. Still waiting. Still waiting. Still waiting. So actually, an interesting fact about this, once this manifests itself, it actually starts cutting the souls you get in half and consuming them. And once it consumes a set amount of souls, it'll manifest itself even more. And your kick attack is replaced by the grab attack with the little egg agate thing that attacks people. So your kick attack is a new, more powerful attack when it manifests itself, but it takes so many souls, it's really not worth it. Anyway, now we have an egghead. Herder, we look funny. Herpader, butter, butterp. Anyway, so, oops, that was close. That was me re-clicking on the window. I almost hit the fair lady. Oh dear, that would have been really bad. Anyway, so let's go ahead and go talk to him. So, now he's happy that we're just like him, apparently. So, apparently now he thinks that our head looks awful. So he's giving us the egg vermifuge, which is the only thing that can take this off. So now he's all happy. He sells egg vermifuges along with 2 of the mist pyromancies. Basically like, they're area of effect attacks, but they're in a cone, really, and they do poison damage. They're pretty nice. So that's pretty nice. Anyway, so now we need a little bit more intelligence. That means we're gonna have to kill a boss or something like that. Anyway, so we don't have the head thing anymore. It's pretty nice. And I have one idea that might just work. There is one more boss that we can fight. You may remember Ceaseless Discharge, the guy we grabbed the Gold Hemmed Black set from. Let's go ahead and go fight him, see if we can get enough souls from him. Anyway, down this way, and down this way. We can go ahead and take a stop at the bonfire just to be sure we can. And so let's go ahead and kindle this while we have that extra humanity. Got nice, now we can actually get 10 for the Ceaseless Discharge boss fight. So this guy is actually pretty easy, especially if you have a really awesome ranged option, but he's still pretty easy even if you're strictly melee. Now there is a special secret way to beat him that unfortunately we did not do, but if you guys want to look it up, I'm sure it's everywhere on the internet. Basically, the way to do it is to get him aggroed, run back to where you are, and get him to do a melee attack. So he'll lunge at you and be hanging from the cliff by his hand, and you knock off his hand. That's not what we'll be doing this time, though. We'll actually just be using... So what I tried to do was bait his melee attack, but he just used a ranged for a while. So eventually I just decided to do the method I had done plenty of times before. Anyway, that was the attack he's not supposed to do, but he does anyway. Meanie. Erg. Okay, so I decided to just go ahead and run up here. So anyway, the trick with this boss is to... Whoa! That looked like it hurt way more than it did. Anyway. So anyway, you just let him attack you. Try to absorb it if you can with a shield or something similar. Or roll out of the way. If you can't, just hit him enough times that he dies. Just hit the arms pretty much. So there we go. Ceaseless Discharge, everybody. So now that he's dead, the lava in Lost Izalith will go away in this cutscene. Not all of it for some reason, it's just it cools down because this discharge isn't feeding it anymore. So now, there's hardened bits of lava everywhere, and we can safely traverse this area as long as we don't step in the lava. So don't step in the lava. Okay? Okay. Anyway, we've got a humanity and a homeward bone. Not sure we would need that when the walk is so short. 20,000 souls, not nearly enough to level up, but it'll have to do, I guess. So, unfortunately, we're going to have to do a bit more grinding, I think, unless I can pull together enough souls from soul items and the like, but I don't think I'll be able to. Anyway, I think we'll be getting the Pyromancy Flame in the next video, probably. That was just a ending of the catacombs, a few more stuff to get the Pyromancy Flame, and not even getting it. So unfortunately, as you can see, we're going to need a few more souls, which, actually, I can get. Luckily, because this is like 5,000, and then this is 10,000, I believe. So that should be just enough to level up. Yes, lucky us, we can put another point in intelligence, and we need 2 more. Whoopity-doo. Let's go see if we can talk to him at least. Maybe 10 should be enough, but I don't think it'll be. Maybe you need 11, which would be kind of annoying, but, well, it might just be enough, but probably not. Sorry. Anyway, so just go ahead and run down here, and you can talk to this guy. So, unfortunately, the molten giant. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. So, and unfortunately, we'll be needing 1 more level of intelligence that I do not know how to get right now, so we're gonna have to fight the centipede demon, or maybe the fire sage, or something similar. But that'll all be in the next video, so see you guys later. Class is dismissed.